Welcome to Wildcard Reads. I'm Wildcard Angel, and today we are going to go over my 5-star books for 2024. I really started reading again heavily in September, and I probably read 20 books for 2024, somewhere around there. Let's go ahead and go over the 5-star reads that I read in 2024. Starting with Krampus the Yule Lord, written by Brom. Now, this book was so good. It was so intense, and I actually loved how realistic all the characters and the setting and everything really was. It was very, I would have to say, this is going to sound so silly, but honestly, if you read the book, you'll understand. It was very honky-tonk, very southern, yeah, it definitely sounded like a small southern town, for sure. And I absolutely love the book, though. I definitely connected, and it shows a lot of favoritism throughout Greek mythology as well, which is not what I was expecting. So if you go into it and you love Greek mythology, you're going to definitely pick up on things very quickly. It caught me off guard because I wasn't ready for it, but after reading that, and then also another book that is on my 5-star list, The Witch's Heart. So, first, Krampus the Yule Lord by Brom, and then reading The Witch's Heart, and forgive me, I cannot pronounce the author of The Witch's Heart, but it definitely connects because the Greek mythology bloodlines are in both, and you get to see in The Witch's Heart the earlier story, and then later on down the bloodline you get to see what happens in Krampus the Yule Lord. It was pretty entertaining when I started seeing all the dots of that connect. But speaking of The Witch's Heart, which I did say I gave 5 stars, absolutely love this one. It made me cry for sure. It really pulled at my heartstrings. And the overall is a mother trying to just raise her kids and live her life, and people of power coming in and trying to disrupt that. It is a heartbreaking story of what a mother will do to protect her kids and to be sure that they have a brighter future. Absolutely loved it. 5 stars. You will cry. You will cry. Okay. Next up, let's see. The Lost Bookshop. The Lost Bookshop got 5 stars as well. Now, this story was so magical, but you didn't really see it coming. Okay, so it's a story of a girl who's kind of hard up on her luck. She works in a servant-like position, and this bookshop finds her. It magically appears, and it gets really deep, and there's so much backstory to it. And towards the end, it's kind of all comes together, and you're gonna realize, and you're gonna love it. Definitely 5 stars. The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I can pronounce that one. Evie Woods. Amazing. Absolutely love that book. Okay, then let's see. House Witch by, I can't read that. Katie Schickel. House Witch by Katie Schickel. This is definitely a 5-star read. This was actually the first novel that I checked out of my local library in September. The first one I read, and it dove me back into reading. It definitely did. It made me remember why I loved reading so much in the first place. I absolutely recommend this book. I love it. It's more of a modern witch vibe, which yes. I read a lot of historical fiction because, I do read a lot of books that have to do with witches, for sure. Read a lot of historical fiction and how they treat women back in the day, but this being a modern story, it does tell a past a bit, but it being a modern story, I absolutely loved it. 5 stars, 100%. Okay, up next we have The Magician's Daughter. Now, this book by H.G. Perry, The Magician's Daughter, is incredible. I'm actually waiting to read another book of H.G. Perry's. I have it on standby and ready to go. I'm just now getting back into reading after my ankle injury because honestly, there was so much pain I couldn't even read. But again, we are feeling better. We are moving forward. But when we're talking about The Magician's Daughter, this is your true fairy tale. This is, you are born and you don't know where you came from, and you ended up on an island and you're being taken care of by these magical creatures, one being a magician, one being a familiar that can shapeshift. It is the truest of truest fairy tales ever. I absolutely loved it. There's so much adventure and unknowing and seeing things come together in the end, of course, and it is a beautiful story. I have to tell you, I definitely cried. I might be an easy cry. I might be an easy cry. But it does get emotional, and with this story, to be completely honest, I got so attached to the characters that when this story was over, I hugged my book, okay? I was hugging my book. So if you want a book that's going to make you feel like it's everything that you never knew you wanted in a fairy tale, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's lovely, I would recommend it. 5 stars, 100%. I cannot wait to read this author's other work. All right, and then we have The Age of Witches. Okay, The Age of Witches by Louisa Morgan. This book goes back, it's more of a historical fiction type of book. And it follows a character as she's coming into womanhood. And it's back in the time when your father could very well just marry you off. That a lot of historical fiction novels have that, as our history did. And it follows this woman though, and it's incredible. I don't know what I can say about this book without giving too much away, because anything I give away, it's going to be so easy to just ruin the story for you. I don't want to ruin this story. But The Age of Witches is an incredible novel. I absolutely loved it. The main character is very spunky. It is a young woman coming into her womanhood and trying to figure out what she really wants out of life, how she wants to live her life versus how most women of the time do. And I absolutely love it. You must read this book. All right, and the final book that I read that I gave 5 stars is actually The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. Okay, hear me out. Everyone kind of jokes and laughs when it comes to Britney Spears. The things that this woman went through, honestly, it's almost like reading a historical fiction. It follows her through her life, and through her grooming into a star, and through her parents, mainly her father, taking over her as a person. The conservatorship was her father becoming her in all senses, having control of everything and anything that has to do with her, because she is legally no longer herself. She can't make decisions for herself. While the whole time she was working and providing money and doing these killer shows, and she had no control over her money, no control over what she did, no control over what she wore, who she hung out with. It is incredible that she survived it, honestly. You should definitely hear her story. 5 stars, 100%. All these books, 5 stars. I believe we got all of them. That's Krampus, The Yule Lord, The Lost Bookshop, House Witch, The Witch's Heart, The Magician's Daughter, The Woman in Me by Britney Spears, and then The Age of Witches. Those are my 5-star reads for 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. We definitely have more videos coming up. This is the final one, wrapping up the 2024. I know it's coming in so late. I know the release was late, but things do happen, and we push on, we move forward, we get better, and we try, all right? So I look forward to sharing my TBR for 2025 with you, at least some of the initial TBR in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and until next time.